Welcome, Lee. I
Thank
was
you.
thinking maybe we were getting hijacked there for a minute by an outsider.
No.
Just kidding.
Usually they show porn anyway when they do that.
Only the third Wednesday, Eileen. Only the
Oh.
third Wednesday. All right. How's everybody doing today? Got a lot of people chiming in here. What's the good word? Win for the week.
Win for the week. I already got an offer on my listing.
Oh,
We didn't take it.
you didn't take it?
No.
Is that the one in Pacifica,
It's in Montera.
Montera?
Yeah.
What? So tell us about that. What was it listed at? What did you get?
I
What
listed it at 1.5 and we got an offer for 1.775 and he didn't take it.
What's he want?
He wants a 1.875.
Okay. Shit, you could buy a.
So we also are doing an auction. I don't know if you guys have done that. I've never done one before, so it's like a luxury auction thing through Harcourts, and so that's new for me. I'm learning some stuff about that, but we can't take an offer underneath the below the reserve price.
So what's the reserve price?
1.8.
Okay.
And
Well,
we couldn't counter them. They don't want us to counter because they don't want to dilute the price or whatever. So I'm learning new stuff. So that's kind of interesting.
So did they give you a time frame when
The auction's going to be on the 6th of August.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Well, we've got a lot of people on today. How about some other folks? Love to hear some wins for the week. I've talked to a lot of you this week, and I'm hearing really positive things as far as listings coming and buyers that are in the car and offers written, and lots of people working on system-related, growth and organization-related growth. So would love to hear if anybody wants to chime in and talk a little bit about that or share any of their wins. Would love to hear that.
Well, really quick, you guys know I'm brand new. So Sunday I took my first buyers out for my first showings ever. So
Good
brand
job.
new here.
That's great.
It was fun.
How'd you get the buyers?
It's my brother.
Okay, cool. Hey, that's where it starts, right?
Yep.
The old sphere of influence. Anybody
That's right.
else? Not so much. Okay. Well, we're gonna jump right into. Let me go in here. I'm gonna share my screen with you. We're gonna talk a little bit of market update. And today's plan is this. We're gonna talk market update and then secondary. I've been hearing from a lot of you out there who are ready to start building your pillars. Last week, if you remember, what we talked about was really diving into your schedule and making a solid plan so that you're doing outbound connections with contacts and touches on a very routine basis. And so some of the feedback that I've gotten from that was, well, how can I do that without having to spend a ton of money? Hey, we're coming out of COVID and I don't want to waste or invest, if you will, a ton of money in whether it's geographic farming or electronic or buying leads or any of the above. So I don't know if you guys specifically on the call are feeling that, but that's what the feedback that I got was. So I go, well, let's get back to the basics. If we basically have three things in our repertoire as agents, and number one is money. Meaning, how much money are we going to pay for inbound leads that are coming in through Zillow or Property Boosts or whatever other media that you're spending money on. The secondary, and I'm looking at Rich here because I think perseverance when I see Mr. Donnell, but the second really is perseverance and grit, and that means how many doors are we pounding every day, and we don't really have to have a lot of skill, but we have to have dedicated time and knowledge and effort in who we're trying to seek out as far as clients. And then the third is skill. And skill really helps us, when we're dialing on the phone or when we're connecting with people, and it helps us in the closing cycle. So, whether you have the time, the perseverance, or the skill, really can help you or make it dependent upon who you're currently targeting in the world of your business and marketing and getting connections and contacts. So I go back and I go, well, what do you feel that I think is the most underutilized source of income, source of business in real estate? Those of you who know me for a while. Now's your chance to shine, people.
Database.
Okay, keep going within that. Within the database, sure it is, but beyond that, what is that, Rich? What am I always telling you to go out and do?
Well,
Build
there's two
relationships
sides.
with
There's
people.
residential and there's business, but finding the business that creates business.
That's right. So we're talking about gatekeepers. We're talking about business to business. We're talking about those folks that can have a massive impact on the rest of our lives. The people that if we prospected, if we really dove in and prospected and identified those 30 people that could change the course of our life, course of our business, and reached out to them. And I keep saying this and I keep harping on it a lot, and I'm going to dive into it in a little bit more detailed fashion, but really just taking the hour. If I said just take an hour instead of being on this call, take an hour and write down the 30 people that you want to get to know in 2020. That's your roadmap to success, not only for the next year, but ultimately for the 5 years after that. If you can get into a relationship with only one person, with 30 people next year that you hadn't been in a relationship before, and each one of those just gave you one referral, that could potentially be as many as 30 deals, and on a low closing ratio, as small as 5 deals. So that's going to be the topic of conversation today. Which, from 30,000 feet, what does that look like? It looks like, how can I go out and get deals right now without having to expend a lot of money? Okay, without having to tap my pocketbook, and that's really going to be the topic today. So. First of all, we're going to dive in and we're going to look at the current market statistics in relation to Altos research. So give me a minute here. I'm going to pull it up. That's my Zoom. I'm going to close that down. Are you guys seeing this screen? It says loading.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, it's Monday, July 13, 2020, and here is a quick look at the U.S. national real estate market with Altos research data that came in over the weekend. This week, home prices kept their momentum, ticking up to 352,500. Prices are 5.3% higher than last year at this time and show no real signs of weakness. The price of the newly listed cohort ticked down this week to 319. It's in this set of newly listed properties each week, the green line on this chart, where you can really see our delayed seasonality that we're experiencing this year. Normally this time of year, the new properties are pricing way off as demand lightens towards the end of the summer. The price of the new listings, remember, is the early leading indicator for the whole market. Come on, the homes that get listed this week are fulfilling the demand that the sellers and the listing agents see in the market at that moment. The red dots on the green line here show you where we normally are this time of year. And this is how we know that the prices are staying strong, even though as the country faces new round of pandemic uncertainty. Expect prices from here to stay nice and stable through July, August, September, October, before the reset of the holiday season. Also in October this year, remember, we'll check in on that 6-month window of the mortgage forbearance programs. And there's a small chance that we get some distressed sellers at that time in October. At this point, though, it looks like that's only a small chance that that happens. You can really see the seasonality trying to creep back in with the price reductions. Normally, this time of year, the percentage of homes with price cuts is climbing. This year, it's inching up. We're now climbing 3 weeks, week over week. We're way lower than normal, though, and it really interested how it illustrates how that our seasonality has been stretched by 6 to 8 weeks. So normally we'd be in 35% price reductions, and we're only at 25%. It's trying to come back up, so you can really see how the seasonality got deactivated this year. All the pricing strength, of course, is due to the inventory crisis that we are in. Total homes available for sale this week fell again down to only 654,000 homes. Demand continues to outstrip supply. The good news on the inventory front is that the normal new listings volume is starting to come down, and especially the holiday week year over year. So we're actually had more listings this week than in the holiday week of 2019. We just have a ton of demand, and so total inventory fell again. You can see new listings on the bottom chart here, and the year over year bubbles, the little green bubbles, showing where we normally would be. For more information on how we do the data, come to altosresearch.com.
Okay, so just summing that up there, what did you guys hear? Some of the bullet points there. If I'm your client, what are you hearing there? And what's the story that you're going to go to social media, go to your database, and send out?
Let me list your home.
Yes.
Okay, backed up by what?
The demand,
Okay.
how many people are looking, price.
Backed up by the facts and numbers.
That's right, Brian. And what were those? What, I mean, he gave you the grasp, but just in general, if we're having a conversation with the seller, we're having a conversation with the buyer. Yesterday, a seller asked me, you know, what are you seeing as far as seasonality is concerned? You know, normally we know the spring market is the thought process out there, at least amongst the consumer, is that the spring market is when we list a house. So how are we doing in relation to a normal spring market right now with what we've seen in COVID? Well, what he's saying is we're seeing a bit of delayed seasonality there. We're seeing actually that spring market when? Now. Why? Because we've been in shelter in place for so long. What were some of the other things that he said? What's happening with the new, we're experiencing this week, most of all, in Placer County, and I'm not sure, you know, we've got Bay Area and Southern California folks on the call, but we're seeing another shelter in place. We're seeing businesses shut down again. You know, that's this week. What are we going to see in the housing market in relation to that and from now until October? What he's saying is based on the numbers, based on the lack of inventory and the demand, at least through October, we're going to see continued a continued healthy and or stable market. What will happen in October?
We'll have to sort of see what happens with COVID, though, won't we? I mean, who knows?
Correct.
It's going to slow down. It's going to slow down. I mean,
What did he say was going to happen in October? What are we going to see? We're going to see all those people who were in forbearance. Their loans are going to, you know, they're going to have to pay that back, or they're going to start their reoccurring programs. We're going to see some effects of that. What are some of the other things we're probably going to see in September, October that he didn't allude to that have happened in the market? We're probably going to see a lot of those people that have been on unemployment for 4, 5, 6 months trying to get back to work if their unemployment has worn out. Right now, I know a lot of business owners that have, and maybe some of you do as well, but a lot of business owners who are having a tough time getting their people back to work, not only because of the fear of COVID, but right now they're making more money on unemployment with the COVID kicker than they are going back to work. So we're going to see some of these things come to fruition come fall, come the first, come October and November, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the first quarter. But for now, if you're a seller out there and you want to get your house sold, I don't know that there's been a better time in my real estate career to have a listing on the market. And I don't know if anybody else wants to comment on that. But the other good news as far as the buyers are concerned is we still got low interest rates. And so as long as rates stay down and inventory stays low, it's still going to be a healthy market. What was the one kicker that we were looking at almost every day during the first few weeks of COVID? Anybody recall what that characteristic of the market looked like? Inventory. Okay? We looked at inventory every day. Wow, what are we seeing? How many expireds? How many back on markets? How many went off the market? And based on those numbers, and you guys can feel free to go and review that tape. I'm showing my age. If you can, the YouTube link, you can go back and look at that YouTube link on Altos and share that. And make your comments on it. I would advise you to do that. A lot of people right now, I keep harping on this, but the reason is because I'm not seeing enough of you guys tell the narrative out there. I'm not seeing enough communication to the world about what's happening, what really grassroots, what's happening in the market. Outside of, hey, you need to sell, or hey, you need to buy, or hey, this is a great market. What are the 97% of people in this world have that system related or compliant requirement need to see facts? And so I'd love for you to share some of those facts, regurgitate it. Here's what's happening on it. Hey, Hal, here's what's happening to your database.
It's Monday, July 6th.
Oh, somebody's playing it. Good work. All right. So, but regurgitate that to your, regurgitate that. And if you want to get down and brass tacks on what's happening in your specific market based on the Altos, go in and use the, please feel free to go in and use the Altos research, copy and paste it, and make some comments. We're going to be talking about today, this business to business. I'm going to jump into there, but now would be a great time, for you to reach out to your lender and say, hey, look, let's do a collaborative post on what's happening with the market right now. Can you give me a paragraph and let's post it together? Bring some value to them, right? And give your database some marketing efforts to them, and also in reverse, let them post it on their page and get some exposure. But we got to tell the story right now, because if we don't, we lose the ability to do so. And in that, somebody else is telling this story. And most of the time, what do we know about news? Positive or negative?
24-hour news cycle.
24-hour news cycle, but does positive news sell?
Well, not these days.
No, not these days. No. What sells? Crazy stuff, UFOs, and negative news, right? So be the flagship of positivity out there in relation to your craft. This is your craft. This is your business. If you needed to sell a product on the open market tomorrow, you go online and you would tell everybody about the product and how good it is and why they need to use it. Do the same thing with real estate, except you're service related. So I want to see more narratives out there from you guys, more analysis. This is when I go back and I talk money, perseverance, and skill. It's the perseverance of posting this stuff every week and the skill of how you interpret it and how you bring that back to your client base that makes you win. Okay? I'm not going to harp on it anymore. I'm going to go into now, share my screen again. Here we go. All right, you guys should all see this. Business to business referral relationships, right? All right, here's the quantitative data behind why it's so important that you have B2B relationships. And to be honest with you, Rich, you said earlier, your database. If as part of your database right now, you don't have a section dedicated to the business professionals or referral partners in the financial world industry, it's time to get that locked into your database, categorized. And I'm not talking about painters and, pest guys. I'm talking about people who are gatekeepers in the financial services world. CPAs, financial planners. You guys know this. You've heard it a thousand times. For those of you who are new on the call, I'm going to tell you what they are. Builders, financial planners, CPAs, attorneys, lenders, insurance professionals. You guys need to have a repertoire of about 3 or 4 or 5 of each of those people that you're in communication or relationship with. And you can regionally separate those. Meaning, hey, if somebody's out there going, well, I only want to deal with one lender. I only want to deal with one CPA. Well, you can regionalize it and say, hey, my San Jose connection is this. My East Bay connection is this. My Orange County person is this. My Sacramento person is this. Separate it, because the larger of the net that you produce, the more referrals are going to come in. However, according to the New York Times, 65% of business comes from referrals. 92% of respondents immediately trusted the referral from the people that they knew. This is great for you new agents, right? It's like it's so easy to go in and get a listing or represent a buyer who's a referral or a family member or sphere of influence versus somebody they don't know. The conversion ratio drops dramatically, almost to less than 0.5% for somebody that we don't know. C, people are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend or business associate, according to Forbes. D, an average of 51% of sellers found their agent through referral. That's half of all sellers. So half of your business, at least when we look at those pillars of business that you have, half of those need to be focused, half of the efforts that you do need to be focused on ways to attract referrals from your sphere of influence, from your referral base, from your past clients, from your B2B folks. And according to NAR, 6.5 out of 10 listings came from referral or customer service. Here's the kicker there on D. Look at only 24% used their previous agent. Is that like an epiphany to anybody? That means what? Almost 65% used a different agent versus when they had initially found a house to list it. It's because, to be quite frank with you, we don't do a great job of keeping in connection, in relationship with our past clients. And E, referrals continue to be the way that most buyers, 46% of buyers found the real estate agent through referral, neighbor, relative, business associate. And to be honest with you, you would think there's an inverse relationship in the age of the client, meaning how young they are versus where they find their agent. You think that most of them are finding him online. In reality, NAR says it's the complete opposite. Most younger buyers are getting referrals from their mentors, from their bosses, from their connections, from their kids' dads or moms. So, just understand that when you're putting your marketing strategy together and trying to figure out where you're going to put the dollars or you're going to put the effort. Okay, I'm going to move right along. Here's the qualitative data. Quantitative meaning, here are the actual statistics. Qualitative meaning, this is what's happening here in my gut, okay? Based on coaching people, looking at top producers' relationships, being in coaching pods, and being a team leader, nobody that I've ever seen outside of maybe some Mike Ferry folks have a stellar business-to-business referral relationship where they focus on bringing value back to the person that they're trying to complete or do business with. So I feel business-to-business referrals may be the most underutilized prospecting lead generation lever in the real estate industry. And here's why. It's because most agents are focused on the immediate sale instead of building a pyramid or an empire of business. So when you're going through this, I want you to get out of the thought process of, oh my God, I got to close a deal this month. You do for survivability purposes, but you have to be able to close the deal and at the same time be working on building an empire. Okay. And I'm going to dive into this empire in a minute, but B, a survey of top producing real estate agents and teams found most of them don't have any type of business-to-business referral related relationship in their top 3 lead levers. And ultimately, this is a model that can be fully developed by a new or experienced agent to break through a ceiling of achievement. That means if you've been doing, on average, 20 real estate deals for the past 5 years or 10 years, if you've been around that long in this industry, or if you have a certain GCI, gross commission income, that you're trying to break through, this could be a model that you employ in your business to add an extra 5, 10, 15, maybe even more transactions to your annual count. Okay. Next. So we're going to talk about some models first. Some of you have heard me talking about Appointment Bridge. I'm not going to dive into most of these models very quickly, just give you the concepts and move on, because I want to focus on some other major things. But these are the models that you must understand. Appointment Bridge, quite simply, what do you do before the appointment? What do you do after? And what do you do at it? And what do you do after? The 4 conversations for accountability each week. Do you have a follow-up program for nurturing these potential referral partners? 8 by 8 for the appointment, the 8 things you do to secure the appointment. 12 by 12, 12 things that are going out like a farm to these people. Because what you need to think about your referral relationships as is your farm. If you have a geographic farm, why wouldn't you do the same thing with business owners and say, hey, I'm going to mail to them 12 times a year. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to go do a video. Matthew and Susie and I talked about exploring your ability, and I'm going to deviate from this really quickly, but exploring your deviating from just doing a regular farm. If I asked you, Brian, do you have a farm, a geographic farm that you're looking at, or that you're continuously reaching out to? It's either going to be a yes or no, but is that really a farm? Meaning, do we have, an identified number of people with a good amount of turnover in a geographic area? Do we interview those restaurants? Do we have an electronic farm? Are we doing Facebook boosting in that area? And I could go on and on and on, but that's truly the farm. Those same things apply to business owners. If I said, I want to do business with the top 10 lenders in San Francisco, let's just say, is there a chance that they would refer us business after they got in a relationship with us? Certainly there is. I've got to go in and I've got to share my value, and I've got to get into a relationship with them. And these models are established, or we're using them in order to do just that. Here's an example of the Appointment Bridge. Many of you have seen this before, but I would say if you've seen it, then you can't unsee it. Are you utilizing it? Do you have some kind of somebody's trying to chime in here. Sorry. Do you have some kind of a system that you're currently using where if I called you and said, hey, I've got a referral for a listing in Orange County, that you're immediately putting them into serving them up customer service points? Your product is immediately ready to go in for the listing appointment, and you have your after action follow-up plan set. That mentality is the same mentality that you want to use for establishing relationships with business owners, right? If I wanted to meet Elon Musk, am I going to just be able to call? And I'm going over the top here, but I want you to get the analogy. If I wanted to meet Elon Musk, am I just going to be able to call or email him and get an appointment with him? Hell no. Somebody like him, superstar. But if you knew him, could he change the scope of your business life? Certainly, through friends, through relationships, through employees. So what does that look like? I may have to reach out to Elon Musk or his HR people or his secretary 800 times before they finally, give me an appointment or reach back out or make a connection. This is the type of perseverance that I'm talking about, but it starts with a simple system just like this Appointment Bridge. Okay, next. And move right along. So here's
what's this big mess?
Here's the conversation. This is a conversion model, and basically it says this. You guys I talk about this a lot. How many touches are going out? How many contacts and how many leads? We can have this same conversation in relationship to referral partners. If I wanted to meet with 10 referral partners next week, I'm probably going to have to reach out to about 100 of these people, right? So that they connect with me, they become leads that I'm actually wanting to schedule appointments with. We can use the same model with everything. Referral partners, listings or buyers, potential agent attractors. It's the same conversation. But at the end of the week, what it looks like ultimately is if we're accountable to ourselves, we look and we go, well, how many actual appointments, face-to-face meetings did I have with business owners? You can do Zoom calls right now, okay? How many contracts were sold? You know, the second is contract. What we're looking for is either a contract or ultimately over time, a commitment from this referral partner. We're gonna do business together. We're gonna send postcards together. You're gonna help me do it. I just talked about it earlier. We're gonna do a weekly market update where you're gonna provide some commentary, and we're gonna boost that, and we're gonna boost it. We're going to, what's the other word I'm looking for? Syndicate it. We're going to email it out. We're going to share it with everybody. But there's got to be a connection. Sometimes I've seen people pay for Boomtown, pay for internet leads, whatever it is that you're trying to establish with them. That's why you're getting in a relationship with them. And number three, ultimately, that will help you get more touches out at less cost. So if Eileen's a lender and I go and I make a commit, and she makes a commitment to me to pay for half a Boomtown, that's going to get me double the exposure at half the cost. That's your goal as a CEO, really, is to get your marketing budget, as low as possible through the use of leverage and co-marketing agreements. All right, let me keep going on here. So here's the tools and model for the nurture. We have a 40 touch follow-up, and this is based on this marketing book called Positioning, right? But it just says in general, for people that we want to attract, people we want to do business with, we've got to have something set up so that they get a touch from us 40 times a year. Birthday program. It can be a postcard program. It can be online. It can be internet. It could be a pop-by. It could be a gift. All of a face-to-face, a call, a drip. That moves in. Okay, so that's for everybody in our database. Now, if I wanted to get an appointment with Brian, and I didn't know Mr. Yang from anybody else, I've got to do 8 things over 8 weeks to get that appointment with him. When you're thinking about an expired call, when you're thinking about maybe a for sale by owner, or just a listing lead, you should think about the same thing. My goal is to have an appointment with this person in 2 months. What are the 8 things that I'm going to do over 2 months to secure that appointment? And then the 12 by 12s understand that in your world, there's 2 types of people in your database. There's people that you haven't met and that you've identified, and there's people that you have met. The 12 by 12 is for those people that you haven't met, but they're targeted. What would be a targeted group of people outside of just a referral network? Could be a demographic form. It could be the geographic form. It could be an electronic form. It could be business. It could be corporations. All of these things, but you have to start somewhere. Moving right along. So this is a time blocking and an appointment setting model. Most of you need to understand this. If I don't have an appointment today, that doesn't get me off the hook. It just means I haven't done a great job in the previous week or the previous days at securing an appointment with someone. Your ability to be successful in this industry is in direct correlation with the relationships you've built and how much value you're pouring into those people. So we start out the day, general day, today is Wednesday. We look at and we go, okay, who are the have-not-mets in the world that I need to do business with? These could be online leads. These could be expireds. These could be FSBOs. Somebody who you need to find a need for in the real estate world. And your goal with them, because revenue is driven by listings and purchase business, your goal is to secure a listing or a buyer appointment. Now, what happens if I go my prospecting time that I've identified based on last week's time block schedule? What happens if I go all day and I'm not able to schedule a listing or a buyer appointment? What do you think should happen next? Anybody? My voice is getting hoarse, so I need you to talk. What happens if we haven't secured a listing or buyer appointment? Do we just shut it down and go, okay, that's it. No appointment for next week. We're going to stop.
no, you should be prospecting until you have something.
Okay, so who's next?
Right now for me, I do a lot of Facebook stuff right now.
Okay, so those would be haven't met. Next would be if we go through our whole day and we've got our list, our binder, we're organized, and we can't get a listing or a buyer appointment. We go, okay, next Wednesday I need to meet with somebody. Where do we go from here? I can go my lead tracker. I can go to I can go to my sphere of influence. I can go to my database, and finally, I can go to my B2B people. You see this? B is my Met leads. These are people who are in my pipeline. These are my lead tracker. So I'm going to reach out to them and say, hey, Dave, I haven't talked to you in a couple of weeks. Last time I talked to you, you were waiting, till summer, till late summer to list your house. I just want to call and tell you, have you heard what's happening with the market this week? I'm creating a need. I'm creating urgency. I'm trying to build rapport through the relationship. And if he goes, no, and if I go through that list and still nobody says, I want to buy or sell, then I'm going to move to my database. And here I can go through and I can ask for referrals. I can create opportunities, and I can, through my referrals, find other B2B related referrals. Here's what I mean by that. Most of you who have been in this industry for a long period of time have a huge database of past clients that have jobs. Those jobs have coworkers. Those coworkers need real estate agents. So it would be a good opportunity for you to reach out. If you know somebody who you've sold a house to at Microsoft and go, hey, can you connect me with HR? Can you connect me with...
Hey, Sean.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a quick question on that. So as I'm just beginning and I'm reaching out to my influence and I'm sending them a message on Facebook, they're going to be more incentivized to send me a referral. If I what's the best way to mention, I want to give them a referral gift if they do refer somebody my way. I know that might be tricky on how to bring that up. If I just say, oh, if you know anyone who's looking to buy or sell, reach out. I don't think they'll really keep it in mind as if I bring up that there might be something in return.
I've never gotten anywhere, and other people have. And so, don't take this wholeheartedly. I've never gotten really anywhere by giving referral related gifts. What I do is I try and find a need with those people. So instead of, it being somebody, for instance, you can always use the word, hey, Samantha, these kinds of words. Hey, Samantha, I really need your help. Can you spare 5 minutes for me and let me share what my goals are for 2020? And those goals have to center around helping people. So, I'm not a big, I see it all the time. People offering, commission incentives or referral fees or, gifts, but I haven't really seen anybody do it at a high level consistently. Okay. I'm more of an advocate of going in and finding a need and creating a relationship with those people.
Samantha, hey, Sean is correct on that. It's more of a reinforcement of positive behavior than it is a incentive to do that. Most people will not do that. I do that a lot. I have a program that I work with, to reinforce that behavior that is both surprising and enriching. But, even though that they know that that's out there, that hasn't been something that has tipped the needle in my favor.
Yeah. And so really what we want to do is we want to go in and we want to build a relationship, and we want to bring value, and we want to say, hey, how really can I, Samantha, how can I really help you and your family? Do you need a referral for a painter? What is it that you need? A CPA? Who's doing your taxes this year? Hey, can you come to a mixer that I'm holding? I've got one of my financial advisors willing to do a half an hour private Zoom call with you to talk about, purchasing and how real estate can affect your world. Those are the type of conversations that we need to be routinely having with our database that yield to a higher percentage rate versus 26%. If I'm going back there and I'm saying for every 100 homes that I sell, only 26 are going to relist with me. Man, what am I doing wrong? Here's what most of us are doing wrong. We're out chasing the wrong rabbits instead of pouring into the clients that can really bring our business to a different level. That's what I would say. Okay. So if we've gone to work today and we've gone through our haven't mets and we've dialed through it expires and we've gone through our social media, then we go through our lead tracker, then we go through our database, and ultimately we don't have a buyer or seller. Guess what we can do? An appointment face-to-face or via Zoom. We can go to our B2B and we can have that conversation with Rich, who's a real estate agent who's been on my LinkedIn page forever. And I call him and I say, hey, Rich, I'm sorry I didn't reach out sooner. This COVID stuff is crazy, man. What's going on in your business? And oh, by the way, can we schedule a call next week, 10 minutes to talk about your business, what's going on and how we could potentially do business in 2021 together? And if he says yes, great, let's schedule it. And if he says no skin off my back, It's a prospecting vehicle, and I'm moving on to the next B2B until I get that face-to-face. So your business is going to change because now you have a new pond to go after outside of haven't met, outside of database and lead tracker and sphere of influence. Now you have this other aspect of B2B that you can go and build relationships with, okay? That's the goal here. And your goal when you're B2B is to build rapport, find a need, secure co-marketing agreements, and ultimately help build their business. If you're one of the agents that goes in and just goes, oh, I've been at lunch and I'm shaking your hand and, oh, let's just do, will you give me your next lead? Will you give me your next client? You're doing it wrong. That's not what it's about at all. You're in an old school way of mentality and you need to work on your sales skills. You need to work on your ability to be influential. You need to work on your leadership skills, because really what they want to know is if I'm going to meet with Eileen, I'm not even going to talk about me. I'm going to say, Eileen, what do you need in your business right now? I know the 4 different models of any business is lead generation, is organization, who does what. The lead generation is where's my business coming from? Organization is who does what in my business. Economic model is how much money do I need to make to survive? And budget model is how much money am I actually taking home to my family? And if we know those four conversations, those 4 categories of business, we can have a business conversation with really anybody. What does that look like? Eileen, tell me about your business. What are your biggest, what are your biggest wins? Where's there room for opportunity? Where's your business coming from? Who's doing that? Eileen, can I help you with that? What can I provide you? What can I provide Eileen as just a normal business person? I can provide her with connections. I can get her a new headshot. I can have my graphic designer work on a new logo for her, or a new service brochure, or new cards. I can connect her with somebody who maybe she wants to hire. Eileen, you need an executive assistant? Hey, let me run a couple ads for you. Let me put some stuff out on Facebook. I can help her create a database. I can help her create a Facebook page. All those things are tools that I can do for Eileen that help her business. I just have to be willing to exchange a little bit of my prospecting time in order to help Eileen build her business. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Great. Let's keep going. So here we go. There's 3 ponds of business that 3 ponds of business to business referral relationships that can be had. Number 1 is business to business. This means agent to business professional. These are the folks that I'm talking about that are in the financial services industry. Next is business to corporations. If you haven't considered a relocation account, an REO account, an account with a firm, a builder-related account, these are what I'm talking about. You're in communication or contact in relationship with a corporation that has multiple homes or multiple employees that sell or buy real estate every year. It could also be an investor, okay? Like an express offers, like what's the company down there? Wedgwood One. I have, if you have a relationship with Wedgwood One where you're sitting in properties all the time and you can account for 5 deals from them a year, 5 opportunities for them a year. That's what I'm talking about. And then next is financial institution. Financial institution is really the bank. And I'm going to get in and dive in why it's important that you have a relationship with your local bank and your local banksters, if you will, because these are the people who are in your farm. When I go back and I'm talking about establishing a geographic farm, if you don't know the business owners in your farm or geographic area and the lenders and the banks that are lending money in that specific arena, that's an opportunity for you, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, great. So here we go. This is what securing the appointment looks like. This is your system. 8 touches over 8 weeks. I say, I want to meet with Angela. Hi, Angela. I say, I want to meet with Angela. How do I get in connection with her? Well, first of all, I got to go in and find a connection. I got to go to Facebook. I got to go to LinkedIn. I got to triangle for trust. Next, I can mail her something, and then I can send her market updates. Then I can send her a gift and emails and calls and pop buys and note cards. And hopefully at the end of doing all of those, what will she do?
Call me.
She'll call me, or she'll say, God damn it, stop reaching out to me. I'll have an appointment with you, right? Okay, cool. That's great. That's called securing the appointment. That's your tenacity. Do any of these really cost you any money? Not much. Maybe a service brochure, maybe a small gift. but there's little financial investment here. What there is a lot of investment in the second thing that I was talking about today, which is perseverance and grit. Next. So if here's what happens at the end of this, she's either going to meet with me or not. If she doesn't meet with me by me investing all this time in her, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, you know what? It's not that I don't want to meet with you, but I'm going to take a step back and focus on somebody else. So I need to put you in a 40 touch program. What does that look like? Something every month for the holiday, a birthday program, a monthly snapshot of Altos of what's happening in the marketplace, a call every month, checking in, evidence of success. If you friended them on Facebook or LinkedIn, and they're also part of your database, then every closing that you have, every listing that you take, every production milestone, or any classes that you're teaching or going to, they need to know about it through email or through Facebook. That's called evidence of success. That builds your brand in their mind. This is why I think it's so important. And I'm going to add one on here, guys. Building a narrative around what's happening in the market. Building a narrative on what's happening in the market. So they're seeing not only are you in touch with what's happening, but you're also in production. And then ultimately some type of mixer, that you hold. Now, those are a little off the wall right now, but, I've been advocating for many of you to go out and start your own networking group. There's a lot of freaking networking groups out there, and a lot of what is it that the city holds?
City council meetings?
Yeah, but where all the business owners from a city come together, like
like a
Chamber of Commerce.
chamber of commerce.
Yeah, so start your own kind of chamber of commerce, if you will, where you invite one of each of these people and build your own network. You see, I'm giving you solutions to problems that all of you have when you go, I need more relationships, I need more closings, I need more people. Yes, you do, but you also need to get out there and build it yourself. Build that accounts pyramid, okay? Next. So you've done this. I've gone to Angela now. I've given her 8 things. I gave her a great book, and she called and she reached out and she said, okay, Sean, you seem pretty dynamic. I'm willing to meet with you. And then, so what am I going to do that? Now I'm going to dive into Angela. I'm going to find out about her business, who I know, what her website, who I know that she knows, what her website stats are, what her LinkedIn looks like, where she's worked in the past, and her personal information. Then I'm going to send her a note card and service brochure saying, Angela, I'm looking forward to meeting with you. Handwritten, boom. I'm going to email her confirmation calendar. Why? Because that's professional. And give her a call confirmation. I'm going to send her the agenda and say, Angela, I can't wait to talk to you about your business. And the agenda has nothing to do with me. It's all about her. What's your business? What are you, how can I help? All those types of questions that help build her business. Do you have a database? You'd be surprised at the amount of business. Okay, the amount of real estate agents that we have in the world. And we know that 97% of them don't have databases. Don't you think the same holds true with other business owners?
Yeah.
They don't have databases. So if you can go in and give them some of these business building ideas, techniques, solutions, you're creating value for yourself, and you're separating yourself from the jackass realtor that just goes in and goes, Rich, hey, I'm John. Hey, yeah, give me another deal. Because that's the competition, guys. We're sending them some type of business CD, MP3 recording, book, YouTube link, Grant Cardone, whatever it is. You can send them your pre-list and buyer packets if you want, just so that, why? Because it shows your branding. It shows your level of, what's the word? Your level of, I will say luxury, what you've created. And then ultimately, you can send them an anticipatory text, call their gatekeeper, which is their secretary, and get an all about you form from them. What do they like? What's an all about you form? What do they like to drink? What is their alma mater? Where they went to college. What's their favorite pastime? And you can build your gift to them around that. If I know Hal's favorite drink is, Crown Royale, would it hurt me to bring Hal a bottle of Crown Royale to our first appointment? Probably not. Shows a level of reciprocity. So
Unless it's at 9 a.m.
That's the perfect time. There's no better time. But At any rate, that's what we're going to do prior to the appointment. That's part of that appointment bridge that gets us to the point where they go, wow, Eileen is on point, man. She's a professional. I haven't seen a real estate agent do anything like this in the past. I'm really interested in what she has to say. This helps. I'm always telling you guys, create the hook with your lead. This helps create the hook for curiosity. Like, wow, they're doing all this stuff. I got to know more about Samantha. I got to know more about David. I got to know more about Alex. Okay. So here's the things that you're going to do at the appointment. You're going to have a routine. Your appointments, whether they're listing, whether they're agent attraction, whether they're, what's the other one? Listing appointment, agent attraction, or business to business, they need to have the same format, each one of them. And it means that before you've gotten there, you understand what the agenda is, what your scripting is going to look like. You're going to understand what their behavior is. And this is truly important. If you've done the research on somebody in the background, you're going to understand what you're going to have an inkling of what kind of disc they have. What are they wearing? Are they wearing pink? Rich, wink, wink. Are they wearing drab colors? Are they the CEO style? What's on their Facebook page? What do they like to do? What sports? Are they an athlete? All those things are going to help tell you or share with you what type of disc profile they have. And you can go back and utilize your scripting around that. Next, you're going to bring a gift for the reception and the client. You're going to give them a printed agenda of the appointment. You're going to focus on, there's this sheet that I have in Workplace. It's called Building a Rapport, and it goes through all the different things that you can do to help build rapport during that first initial conversation. But the first thing should be, if you know somebody in common, or you have an alma mater in common, this is why it's important for knowing the All About You form. That's the first thing that you want to do, is start talking about things that you have in common. Next, you're going to find a need. Apply those 4 models that I just talked about. Lead gen, economic, budget, and organizational model to find what the biggest opportunity for them is, but also what's the biggest opportunity for you to help them. You're going to use the magic move. What's the magic move, guys?
I don't know.
I don't either.
Always ask for.
I mean, I know, but I can't really say it right now.
Follow up on appointment. Always have the next appointment ready to go. When can we meet next?
No matter what you do, whether it's a phone call, B2B appointment, listing appointment, buyer appointment, I don't give a shit what it is. The thing that you have to do is take control of when you're next meeting. Always. Okay? And then that's the magic move. But I understand what you're saying, Eileen. And then finally, leave making them feel great. You've been in appointments with people that suck your energy. You have to leave that appointment going, wow, having them feel energized, giving all your energy to them. I mean, these people that you're meeting with can potentially give you between 1 to 5 deals. Here locally, that's between 10 to 50,000. In the Bay Area, that's between, 25,000 a pop. That's between 25 to 125,000. That's the important significance of that appointment, of the preparation that you've done, understanding the skill, and you're leaving making them feel great, giving them energy. Any questions so far?
Dope.
Okay. That's at the appointment. So the appointment ends. Either we got it, we got the deal. They go, yeah, man, I want to do business with you. That's one of the best closing lines I've ever used. Man, Samantha, I feel like we can do business together. Do you mind if we schedule a follow-up appointment? No, great. Okay. Well, great. At the follow-up appointment, I've listened to everything you've had to say today, and I'm going to put I'm going to make some phone calls, put some tactics and techniques together so that when we meet next time, I'm hoping to have some solutions for you and your business. Is that okay with you? Thank you. I appreciate the business conversation that we've had today, and I'm looking forward to establishing a long-term business relationship. Isn't that what it's all about? That's building the account pyramid. Post-appointment, we leave, parking lot, text, or email. Hey, great doing business with you. I'm looking forward to our next appointment. Next, we give them a note card. Great meeting. Really enjoyed spending time with you. Execute on any promises and build a solution. Follow-up email, confirmation email for the next appointment. Potentially create a co-marketing agreement based on the needs analysis. Practice your scripts for the second closing appointment. At that second appointment, really, what is the goal? That's what you have to establish depending upon how far you are down the line. And ultimately, this is your dating period. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. You can send them office. You could send their office lunch. You could execute on the All About You form based on, if you know their favorite place is Chevy's Fresh Max, send their people Chevy's Fresh Max. Invite them to a training. Place them in a farm. Here's one that you can do. Get a class that you are stellar on, that you could teach to any business-related professional or sales team. Make it a half an hour. Get some slides or graphics, and that is your go-to for this. If Rich
I can teach a Matt Pilates. Does that count?
Depends who your target is. Depends who your target is. If you have a, I'm not going to dive into that one, but that's funny. But if I knew the disc profile, if I had some sales skills, if I knew a P&L class, I could go to Susie. Susie's on the call, and I could say, Susie, you're running a team of 10 sales professionals currently. Do you mind if I come in and give your sales professionals a half an hour pep talk? Oh, by the way, Susie, what do you think they're struggling with right now that you haven't had the fierce conversation with them about? Let me do that. You see how that brings value to Susie now?
Yeah.
Especially right now in the world of we're all at home or sheltering in place. This is the worst time for sales professionals. Most sales professionals need the energy of other sales professionals. They need the continued motivation because it's a grind, right? It's a grind. You pay money, you persevere, or you get better skilled. Help these people find alternatives to bring value into their business. So my goal, my challenge to all of you is go find a class that you want to teach in a sales-related world for half an hour. All right, so we've got about 6 slides left here. Business to business. So this is agent to individual. Here's what you should do. Find yourself 20 referral partners, each with a minimum of 500 people in their database. Your exposure grows to 10,000 people very, very quickly. Maximize statistics and relationship in order to receive appointments. That means use your current relationships with past clients or friends to get to get in front of these people in appointments. Come from contribution. Ultimately, delivering the lead should be a goal. So if I sit down with Eileen and say, Eileen, my goal for you in 2021 is to bring you an extra 5 deals. Here's my plan on how we're going to do that. That's what I'm talking about when we're coming from contribution. Make a list of 20 individual professionals, contacts. These are people with things you're passionate about. If you like sports, go find sports agents, lenders, brokers, attorneys, probate attorneys, divorce attorneys, bankruptcy, financial planners, insurance, estate planners. Find these people, and social media is the key for connection. Call to set an appointment with them. Add them to your database. Add your farm. Add them into part of your farm so that they're receiving something from you on a routine basis. If you've got them set up in KV Core, you can start an electronic farm with these folks. You need to add, if you want to grow this thing exponentially, add 20 more partners every month. At the end of 12 months, you have 240. 240 times 500 is access to 120,000 people. That's dynamic, guys. If you want to get into crazy business right now, put the time, effort, and energy into adding 20 people, 20 referral partners per month to your database over 1 year. You can sign co-marketing agreements, and other possible programs that you can consider are helping them with their database, helping coach them, helping with their logo design, helping them with lunch and learns, helping them with a book or CD program where you have all of your referral partners on some kind of a follow-up book program. They receive books from you every quarter. You can help them by tagging them in Facebook boosts, by ultimately referring business, helping them build videos, interviewing them, creating a headshot, co-marketing with them, sharing them the 8x8, 33, 12x12 touch programs, helping them establish a closing program, helping buy their staff lunch, or creating a co-marketing service brochure with them. None of that has to do with real estate, does it? So get over in your head. It's no longer about how many deals that you close every year. It's about how you bring value to their business. Next, this is the corporation. This is access to a large number of employees. This says, hey, I want to go be the preferred real estate agent for the Orlando Magic. You get access to a large number of companies. You should. These should account for at least 5 units a year for each one that you have in your database. You're coming from contribution. Delivering help should be your goal, really simply, because I know we're running short on time. If you're able to connect with the HR manager, don't say, what do you need? Don't say, here's what I have to offer. Say, what do you really need from a real estate agent? How can I help you get to the next level? You're recruiting people. Do you mind if I tool them around when they come in from Boston? Do you mind if I tool them around and show them to different neighborhoods? Why? Because then I can find out what's really important to them. If I know that they need an extra $25,000 a year, they're going to tell me, and I'm going to come back and tell you. Would that be helpful? Do you see how I'm looking at this askew from every way that you've ever seen business before? I'm looking at it at a different angle, going, I'm going to help you because you'll help me. Ultimately, make a list of 5 companies that you want to do business with, that you're passionate about. These could be REO accounts, sports teams, venture law firms, technology companies, hospitals, colleges, unions, military, retail, shipping, relocation, headhunters. Make a list and start prospecting these companies. Next. I'm sorry. So now we set an appointment with the script. I would suggest you find companies over 250 with over 250 employees. We find out their HR department. We're looking, how do we look for advancement for that HR person? How do we help save the company time and money with less stress in hiring and providing a higher level of service to the employees? How do we help them problem solve their recruiting issues? Are they doing a survey with their people who are coming in from relocation? Do you see how all of these topics can help find a need for you in their corporation? And then ultimately, business to financial institution. Your local bank is where people go for information. They're where they go to connect with their financial institution. They're the local experts. In typically a local branch, you've got a mortgage officer, you've got a financial planner, you've got a manager, an assistant manager, you've got tellers, you've got high-end wealth bankers. Those are people that have access to other people that you need to get in relationship with. But ultimately, they have the street credibility and face time with the general public to refer you business. Come from contribution. If I sat down with the local manager and I asked them, how can I help you build your branch? What do you need? Oh, I need other affluent people in the business world as a business banker. Great. Do you think if I refer, I've got a huge database now of business owners that I have. Do you think if I made the introduction to you, you could in turn send me some people who come in here who need to buy or sell? Yeah, great. Do you see how all of this kind of coagulates together and becomes a new piece of business, really almost a separate corporation within your company that's focused on just referral related business in company A, that is. And then, all these people are there and the employees are also potential clients. If you get enough face time with them, they'll use you. We used to do this thing on the 3rd Friday of every week called Operation Donut Drop. We had targeted donut boxes with our mugs all over them and our branding. And we would go each week and deliver 20 of those to the local financial institutions. Got us a lot of face time. It's something that I'd love to do before. I'm just under leveraged right now in my current operation. Things are going great. It's just not something I'm interested in adding right now, but something certainly you should be. Next. All right, two more slides. You can pop by with a tasty gift, make the connection, use the personalized marketing, map out your route, connect on a Friday, script the initial meeting, add them to your database, schedule the one-on-one meeting with management, leadership, or the loan officer. Okay, we call this Operation Donut Drop. And ultimately, again, just like at the end of a listing appointment, how are you making these employees feel when you leave? Do you know their names? Have you given them some of your energy? What are you offering to them? That's one of the most important things. So summing it all up, 4 minutes over so far. How are you going to do this? Identify 500 business professionals that you want to farm. Identify 20 business professionals to immediately call for a face-to-face or a Zoom appointment. Identify 5 corporations. Identify 20 local banks. Create your 8x8, your 33 touch, and your 12x12 programs. Add all these people to your database and categorize them. Begin to build your contribution referral partner plan. Those are the things I was talking about. Headshots, service brochures, coaching, lunch program. Identify a monthly goal of leads to deliver to your B2B referral partners. And ultimately, that wraps us up. Was that enough information?
Yes, there was a lot of information. Thank you very much.
Lots of information. Here's
Good
what I
stuff.
want you to do. Everybody get your phone out. Please. I should ask, please. Get your phone out. Get ready. Pull your camera up. And take a picture of this right here. How do I get started? Identifying these people, reaching out and putting them into your KB core costs you $0. Most of these people probably have somebody right now because of the heat of the market that knows somebody who's buying or selling real estate. Throw your line in and capture it tomorrow. All right, everybody got the picture?
Yeah,
Oh, I
yes,
see
sir.
something from Angela. Oh, she's got her notes on her whiteboard. I love it. Okay, cool. All right, I'm stopping the share. All right, guys. Anything that you'd like to talk about in closing?
Thank you.
Got a pretty good contingency of folks on today, so I appreciate you guys coming on and showing your support and penciling time out. It means a lot. It shows me that you're growth minded and also helps me to connect with you guys, so I love it.
Thank you for just showing your energy and giving it your best. And
Kind. Thank you, Susie. You get the A for the day. Anybody have any questions, comments, or anything you want to talk about before we go?
I just wanted to say, can you hear me?
I can. Hi, Angela.
Hi. I just wanted to say I think I might have my first recruit. Yay! We'll see how that goes. So I'm meeting with her on Friday.
Good for you and good for them too, I would say. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Oh,
Lee.
I wanted to say thanks. And wow, a little overwhelmed. I'm thinking about the commercial when you go to the movies and they show the TRX thing going.
Yeah.
So I see that you're recording this. Is this something that I can refer to later?
Yeah, Lee, send, or Eileen, I don't know how you want to do it, but we'd be happy to send out we do record all these. We'd be happy to send you that link. Yeah.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
going to just send this out to everyone, Sean.
Yeah, we'll just send it out to the whole team and tribe, and then Eileen, when you get it, maybe you can forward it to Lee. The link? Okay, good talk. Oh, Lee, thanks for coming in. I know it's a lot of information, and I'm just hoping that people just take the 10% of it and implement it. And that's why I wanted you guys so badly to take a picture of that last screen, because it's all about that organization and getting started. And with all that information, people go, wow, I'm overwhelmed. Where do we begin? That's where you begin. Identifying those corporations, those people, those financial institutions that are locally that can change your life. Once you identify those, put them into the system and start the process.
Sean.
Well, you answered so many questions I've been having since I started this. And I mean, in a nutshell, it's a really great starting place and I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lee. I appreciate you chiming in. Susie.
Yeah, Sean, are you having all of your videos put together in I think you mentioned YouTube last time, right? Or is this more of a tribe, personal group kind of thing?
Well, to be honest, we've been sending them out to the tribe via email almost every week. Last week we posted it on Workplace, and it's also on our YouTube. We posted the YouTube link on Workplace. So we'll download this one and post it to YouTube. You good with that, Chrissy? Just like last week? Okay. Yeah.
And we can all subscribe, and we can all support each other, and then we'll just watch our videos over and over again.
Yeah, we're really trying to make a concerted effort to put everything in workplace. That way, all the new forums that come out each week and the videos, you know, everybody can kind of go to that one collaboratory spot. But these videos really are great for agent introductions as well. I mean, like we'll probably post this one as far as the B2B on Facebook for everybody to be able to share and say, hey, you know, come, we've had our team meeting this week. Come and listen about, you know, B2B.
John, can I chip in for a second?
You bet, buddy.
I remember the first time you talked to me about this kind of stuff way back, I think it was like 6 years ago. I was coming in from door knocking, and you were talking about all the different things we have to do. And it was kind of overwhelming. But when we started thinking about adding value, even to business leaders, everybody's thirsty. Everybody's thirsty. They're looking for help. They're looking for winning their sales. They're looking for people to come next to them and say, hey, you do. And by the way, here's some resources. When we come from abundance, it's amazing. I mean, just walking into stores or walking into different places in Lincoln, it's been something I've been able to do. Just creating that abundance factor as we kind of walk through and walk with other people. It's funny because leaders get just as thirsty as followers. When you pour water in their glass, it's awesome.
I love that. I love that. And thanks for sharing that, Rich. And I will add one more thing on it. Last week, you know, we talked about there's a lot of folks out there who are lost right now, and not only in real estate, but in you know, small business owners, these financial folks that we're talking about. You know, they don't know what to do. They don't know what best practices look like. And now's your time and opportunity, more than any other time, probably in recent history, to be reaching out and making these connections and showing value. When's the last time any of you got called from somebody in the financial services industry going, even a lender who we know that 70% of the time we refer business to them, even a lender reaching out going, hey, how can I help you? What do you need? You know, what's going on in your business? Tell me about your database. Tell me about your social media, your Facebook page. What are you doing differently? I haven't gotten called by one lender during this 5-month time frame asking me that question. There's your room for opportunity, guys. Okay? Let yourself be the lighthouse out there going, hey, here's what we're doing. Hey, if you want to jump on the call, you know, Rich, Mr. CPA or insurance guy or lender, jump on the call. You know, bring value. These topics that I talk about each week, you'll find aren't just in relation, most of the time, 90% of the time, aren't just in relation to real estate. They're just good business practices.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Yep.
Nice to meet you, Lee.
Thank you, Sean.
Bye.
Welcome aboard, Lee.
Thank you.
Bye. See you, Eileen. Bye, guys.
Bye.